I think it's been a year or two since I talked about this, but I think it's time we do it. Let's talk about running your race. What's going on? Bill DeWeese, welcome to the morning. Well, for me, morning. For you, it may be middle of the night huddle. As we have an international audience, we continue to grow. And I'm so grateful for you stopping in every weekday morning to be a part of this voiceover huddle where I share tips, tricks, strategies, things to help you make more money in voiceover. And of course, I appreciate you subscribing and thumbs up videos that you like and sharing and all of that kind of fun stuff. Also, special thanks to everybody who picked up my summer accelerator training program. Many of you were there live last Tuesday, and then also a lot of you guys bought the video of the event, which and that ended Friday night, so those aren't available anymore. But I sure appreciate those of you who picked it up. And what I want to encourage you to do is to use it. Of course, use it, use it. Having it doesn't help you unless you watch it, you study it, and then you execute. Remember last Motivational Monday, we talked about a good plan violently executed today is better than a good plan, or I'm sorry, a perfect plan being executed next week. So, it only happens when you make it happen. But this is, this idea of running your race, I think about it a lot for myself because it's something I have to keep myself in check on. And I think all of we human beings are prone. We tend to compare ourselves. We look at what this person's doing and what that person's doing. And when we're learning something, I mean, you can't help but look at other people. You're trying to learn voiceover. You're trying to get better at voiceover. You're trying to make more money in voiceover. So you're going to look at other people and what they're doing. But the problem comes not by looking what they're doing and studying what they're doing, but by then comparing what they're doing to what you want to do and becoming frustrated because you're not where they're at. We don't understand, we only see people from an outside view, and we often frame other people's lives and their situations as being so much better than ours, when the reality is that that is often not the case at all. We only see what we see, and sometimes we see what is marketed to us through social media. In other words, people let you see what they want to let you see. And so, especially when it comes to social media, people they craft the image that they want you to see of them. You don't see everything. And even what you see may lead you to believe things that aren't necessarily completely true. And so that I think the whole social media thing has just really exaggerated the sense of frustration that people can get when it comes to comparison. But the running the race part, I was thinking about it this weekend because as I mentioned last week, and I think I mentioned the week before that I'm working on getting back into running condition. I used to run a lot distance and ran a couple Chicago marathons back in the day, and I want to do it again. And so I've started out by going out and walking 7 miles a day, just trying to, to get the blood flowing, get some aerobic ability, there, drop some pounds, just get ready to start the running part of the whole thing. And this here's let me just be if I may be open a little bit and just reveal a little bit about what's going on with me and maybe you can relate to this. I love to run. I especially when I get in condition, I love to run. But here's the thing. I'm not a gifted runner. I'm not fast by any means. I've I've got a lot of slow twitch muscle fiber. You ever heard that? People who are fast have fast twitch. The rest of us have slow twitch. I'm like 99.9% slow twitch muscle fiber. I don't move quickly when it comes to, athletically. I've got hand-eye coordination, there are things I can do, but I'm not fast, never have been. And because physiologically, the way I'm built, I never will be. I remember, like, in junior high school, we would go through these, we'd be tested several times a year and, things like pull-ups and running the 50-yard dash, and it's so humiliating because every year, I was, like, always the slowest person in my class. And it wasn't and I was thin, I was fit, I was all those kind of things, but I wasn't fast. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't be fast. But finally, and this took a lot of years to learn, but I had to start looking for what can I do? and what can I capitalize on? Maybe not things that I'm better at than other people, but what is it, that I was given or gifted with, and what do I have the capabilities, of doing? And what I learned along the way is that I can last longer than most other people, not just in running, but in everything. I can endure. I learned to be able to endure, the physical. I can endure a lot of physical and emotional pain over an extended period of time if I need to get to where I need to go. And I've done it and over and over again in my life. When I ran marathons, when I when I sold books door to door to put myself through college. Talk about emotional pain and suffering. That was brutal. One of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And what I learned was that you don't have to be the best at something. You don't have to be more skilled. You don't have to be more talented. Because I can, in every aspect of my life, I can look at a lot of other people who are better at what they do. But what I can do and what you can do doesn't require talent and skill. It requires going the distance. It requires running the pace that you can run, even if it's like me, even if it's as slow as a turtle. I don't run fast, but I can run slowly for miles and miles and miles and miles. When I'm in condition. I mean, it takes me a while to get there, but I can put myself through the pain, to get to that place. When you apply that to your voiceover business, you will be amazed at what you can accomplish. You don't have to be better. You don't have to be as good as. What you have to learn to do is be as good as you can be, and then submit yourself to the disciplines of growing a business, of developing your skill, of being the best you can be. And if you can outlast, that's almost always been if you, on my tombstone, my kind of my life thing would be, he outlasted everyone else. He wasn't the most gifted. He wasn't the most talented, but he never quit. He just kept plodding along until he got to where he was going. I mean, it sounds like the tortoise and the hare. It pretty much is that. And there's some things. Now, it didn't take me a long time to develop my voiceover business, but here's the comparison thing. Remember, I was full time out of the gate because the company I was working for was in the process of going out of business. So I went into voiceover. I went in full time. When I say full time, I don't mean 8 hours a day. I mean like round the clock. I hit it and I hit it and I hit it. And that's why I was making over $2,000 a week by the end of my first year, because I I just sucked it up and I pushed and I pushed and I pushed until I could let off the gas a little bit. But some of you guys, you know, eh, I get emails on a regular basis from people who are desperate to build a career. Desperate not because they just need the satisfaction of doing it. They need the money, and they need it to happen like now. And the thing is, voiceover doesn't happen like that. This is no get rich quick scheme. And you've got to have the endurance and the ability to hang in there and keep going. And when you look at other people and you look at what they're doing, and yes, maybe some people who are able to do it faster than you're doing it, you'll frustrate yourself and you'll end up kicking yourself out of the race just because you couldn't mentally handle not comparing yourself to everybody else. Again, and I get it. I mean, we're all human beings and we're all prone to do the same kind of things. And comparing ourselves, I think, could be one of the biggest struggles of our lives. And it can be the most damaging because it will cripple us. It will keep us from accomplishing what we want to do. You were born with as who you are, and that's a good thing. You're not like anybody else. And I'm not going to go into the big, speech about every snowflake is different. You are. I mean, we're each uniquely different, but we tend not to look at it that way. We're always comparing ourselves. It's so hard not to other people. Well, I wish I was more like that. And look what he did. Look what she did. Why can't I do that? You're never going to do it exactly like somebody else. But if you're willing to accept the fact that you do have something that you've been given, and are you willing to work with it and go the distance with it? That's the question that you need to answer on this Motivational Monday. And if you're willing to do that, and if you're willing to suck up the pain, because it hurts to go the distance. Your muscles burn and they scream out for relief. But the great thing is there's such a satisfaction in denying that and just running through it anyhow until you get to where you wanna go. And it will make you a stronger and a better person, will help you to handle other situations in your life better. It gives you a frame of reference that when you tackle tough things, you can look back and say, "Look, I did this, I did that, and I did the other thing." Not because I was better than anybody else. As a matter of fact, I might not have been as good as most, but what I did do was I hung in and I went the distance. So that's the question today. Are you ready to go the distance? And if you are, the way to do that is not to compare yourself to anybody else. Take what you've got, not just in terms of your own personal talent and ability, but in time available and your life circumstances. Your life circumstances are different than other people. Some of you have tremendous family, spouse, a significant other support. Some of you guys don't. I know that. Many of you have told me. Some people face other disabilities and difficulties that others don't. We all have our own unique set of circumstances. So don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't pity yourself. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, but begin to work with what you have. And as you do, you'll be amazed at how that grows into something that's meaningful, that's satisfying, and as far as voiceover goes, that will be profitable. So again, don't look at anybody else. Don't compare yourself. And remember, social media is just one big marketing platform. It's we put ourselves out there the way we want other people to see us. So, and if that's a problem for you, unplug from it. Just don't do it. I know people who do that just because they understand that it's an Achilles heel for them because they start comparing themselves. Just unplug if that's what it takes. Of course, keep coming back to YouTube to watch the channel, but aside from that, unplug. But guys, I mean, and of course I'm joking around, but I think you get the idea. Is that you've got your own race to run. It's uniquely yours. Doesn't belong to anybody else. Nobody else has your circumstances. Nobody else has the things that you've been gifted with or given. And we all have something that we're given. And it's our job to find what those things are and to work with them and to hang in there and not to give up on ourselves. And if you can do that, you'll be amazed at what can happen. Run your race. Run your race. Well, let's see who's on the live stream. Okay. Let's see here. My Motivational Monday videos are starting to sound like Sunday morning sermons. Let's see here. We've got Bradford. Good morning, huddlers from Simpsonville, South Carolina. Happy Motivational Monday. Bob says, thank you from Reidsville, North Carolina. Hey, thank you, Bob. Hey, Rob, another blueprinter. Boy, like the first several here, people we've pulled up here are blueprinters. Good morning from the San Francisco Bay Area. Passed my first ACX 15-minute checkpoint. Yeah, there you go. Way to go, Rob. Hey, Corey, happy Monday to you in Wisconsin. Ty in Warsaw, Indiana. Yeah, let's get motivated. Hey, Dan, good morning and happy Monday to you in Michigan. We've got Dave in the Big Apple, Janet in Florida, Rebecca in Michigan, Denise in Long Island, Chad, Daytona Beach, Wayne in the Olympic Mountains. We've got Ryan in Long Island. Good morning, Ryan. Ralph in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Melissa in San Diego. Amanda, Atlanta. Sandra in Dallas, Fort Worth. Oh, let's see here. We've got Ginger in St. Joseph, Michigan. And good morning from the surface of the sun, aka Austin, Texas. I'm sure it feels that way, with lots of humidity thrown in just to make it even more fun, right? Greg in Winnipeg. We've got Michelle in Philadelphia and Terry in Bel Air, Maryland. Merrill, good morning. Booked my first Voice Realm gig, progress over perfection. Merrill, that's fantastic. Congrats to you on that. I'm very excited for you. As a matter of fact, hold on. Where's my bell? Oh, here it is. It's in the floor. JR, happy Motivational Monday to you in Austin, Texas. Good morning, Stuart in Amarillo, Texas. Greg in Nashville, North Carolina. A lot of folks from Texas this morning. I love it. Rob, it's a most beautiful morning in Loveland. Good morning, Rob. Neil in Daytona Beach. Bob in Clearwater. Thank you, Bob. Hey, Dwight, how are you doing? The mouth of the Connecticut River. It's beautiful there today. Fantastic. Aaron in Columbia, Missouri. John in Rhinebeck, New York. Wally, thank you. Scott in Dayton, Ohio. Dan says, I used to run back in the day. You're getting me thinking about getting back into it. I tell you what, let me tell you what motivated me. I've always had I mean, since I was a little kid, I loved to run. I just did. I liked to, I learned early on that if I pushed myself early on, I could go pretty long distances doing it. And, I dreamed of running a marathon at some point, would always joke around about it. And then finally, when I was like 35 years old, I finally decided to get serious about it, and I just went out and did it. I found online, I found a training program. I didn't run with anybody else. I didn't hire somebody to help me. I just downloaded the instructions and followed the instructions. And I did it a couple years in a row. And then I kept running, but I didn't enter events or anything. I don't like to race against other people. I don't do it for time. I just do it for the satisfaction of doing it and finishing it because, like, again, I'm not fast. I enjoy doing it. And then, once I got into I was still running quite a bit into my 50s, and then I had a few injuries which slowed me down, and then, yeah, some physical things just slowed me down, and then I got out of shape. And then, of course, the older you get, the harder it is, to get back into it. And then, of course, we moved and, we're gone the past couple years, and I just that's not I mean, that's an excuse, frankly. But for those 2.5 years, I wasn't, we weren't home here, with our family, with my kids, my grandkids. So emotionally, it was very difficult. And I just was sedentary. And so I found myself putting on weight during COVID and then not doing a lot after we moved, to Ohio. And then all of a sudden, I'm realizing, Bill, man, if you don't do something soon, it's going to be, I mean, it's hard now, but it's going to be extremely difficult. And so I finally decided just to start doing it. And so that's all that to encourage you, Dan. I mean, if I can do, what I was going to tell you, what really motivated me was there's this guy, and I don't recall his name. He's about 115 right now. Can you believe it? But he ran marathons well over 100 years old. And, I think Nike's made some posters, but, he lives in London, and he runs with a I think he's a Sikh. He runs with a turban on his head, and so he's very recognizable. But, I mean, he did it well over 100 years old, and I thought, at 64, I've got no excuses. I'm in good health. Yeah, I'm out of shape, I'm overweight, all that kinda stuff, but I have no excuse. So I decided to get my sorry butt up and start moving. So there you go. Ron, Charleston, South Carolina. Guy in St. Louis. Wade in Philadelphia. Rob, as a 5-time Ironman finisher, it's all about pacing yourself and putting in the work. There you go. I'm not fast, and yet I can endure. There you go, Rob. I love it. John in Memphis. Marcus, deep in the Ozark Mountains, a stormy weekend. Matt in New Jersey. Tom, how are you doing in South Florida? Anthony in Concord, North Carolina. Slow twitch muscle fibers are smaller in size than fast twitch, but they are more efficient at using energy and can sustain activity for a longer period of time. There you go. Well, there you go. Well, it makes me feel a little more grateful for what I have. I guess that's a good thing. Texas, another Texan here. I love this. My goodness, Andrew. Thanks for the kind words, Andrew in Washington. Barb in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Scotty in Brookings, South Dakota. Let's see here. I just finished building my wife an amazing home studio for voiceover recording. Wow, fantastic. That's awesome. Congrats on that. Dave from Kansas City. Oh, thanks, David, for the very kind words. I appreciate that. Chica, good morning. John, awesome. Waco, Texas. Let's see here. Claire, Prescott, Arizona. How many people are on the stream this morning? My goodness, look at all the comments. We've got another turtle. Lisa in Tulsa. I need to start a new YouTube channel. We'll call it Just for Turtles. Dan, I love it. Megan in Manitoba. Theo, happy Motivational Monday from high atop a skyscraper in the city of big shoulders. Fantastic, Theo. And good morning, Craig and JJ or Jolie. Hey, Jolie, how you doing? Hey, guys, thanks for being here. Remember, you don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the most talented. You just got to hang in there. So do it. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.